What is up, guys? It is Robert of Movies with Me, and welcome to my review of Aliens, which is Alien 2, essentially, but except plural. Now, this movie is directed by James Cameron, the guy who did, the top two best-selling movies of all time. And also, it of course stars people like Sigourney Weaver. Now, there won't be any spoilers in this review. It's basically like, a little bit of plot points and stuff, but that's really it because I've never seen it. And in anticipation for Alien Covenant, I wanted to check it out and review it. Basically, in this movie, Ripley wakes up and finds out she's been asleep for a very, very long time, and she's confused. She's like, "What?" Now, Ripley is trying to convince the people that are on this ship that she woke up on that saved her. She tries to tell them that there's this one base where there's a bunch of other people from that ship are there, kind of like checking out the area, but that's where the attack of the xenomorph happened. And so she's trying to tell them they need to get off that place because there's kind of a killing people aliens on there, and people don't believe her. Until one time, all of a sudden, she gets called and they say, "Listen, we want to check out that area because we're not getting any signal from these guys anymore." And she won't go until she's convinced. And things get pretty crazy. Now, when this title says aliens plural, you bet your ass it's plural. There are a ton of xenomorphs in this movie compared to the first one, which only had one. This one has a lot of xenomorphs, and it is really, really intense. However, it's intense in a different way. The first one was all isolated, but this one in Aliens, it actually has a lot of people in groups, but it's still intense because of the quiet areas, and it's incredible how James Cameron did it because it was like Alien, but in an action movie sort of way. It's so strange because you would never think Alien, oh yeah, an action movie. But Aliens is kind of an action movie, and he did it really well. The crew that she is with basically meets this little girl called Newt. Now, Newt, I actually really liked. Basically, there was a one part where they're kind of like a relationship bonding, her and Ripley. It's like almost like the child that she never had, but apparently, I watched the theatrical version, but apparently the extended version, she actually did have a child, and that's pretty interesting. Newt, of course, takes Ripley as like almost like her mother, and it's really great because they have a really close bond throughout the whole movie. And my only problem, I have a few problems with this movie, and to be honest, to me it kind of feels like somewhere in the middle. It drags a bit. Maybe it just, I don't know. For me, it just kind of dragged, but not too severe. It wasn't anything like prolonged to the point where I was like, yeah, this is just ridiculous. But no, there was a little bit of points that it kind of dragged, and also for some reason to me, maybe some people disagree. Maybe they say it's nitpicking, but when it happens like 11, 12 times, Newt kind of did start getting annoying for me. Like, Newt kept screaming all the time. Every time something would happen, to go in the highest pitched voice you could imagine, just screaming. And that was just so, like, stop screaming, please. Please, just for me, stop screaming. And you may be like, well, that's kind of a nitpick. I don't think so. When you do it like 11 times, is it really nitpicking? Like, it just happens too many times. It's almost like if a jump scare happens too many times, that's annoying. For me, it's when she keeps screaming way too high pitch over everything. And I get she's a child, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like they could have maybe done that differently and less annoying to me. But other than those two pretty minor complaints, everything else around this was still really great. The crew that Ripley was with, had people like Bill Paxton, R.I.P. That sucks, man. That he had to go. But that crew really worked really, really well because they weren't expecting this. They weren't expecting these xenomorphs, and then when they see them, fear is given throughout the whole crew, and it's incredible, because when they see their friends and their allies being taken away by this giant monster, they're scared. And I will say, my favorite part about this movie, though, is the last 50 minutes. The last 50 minutes are intense. It is non-stop. Crazy things happening at every point, with an incredibly epic finale that I was not expecting at all. And I loved it. I love those last 50 minutes. Those last 50 minutes are for sure a 10 out of 10. But with some things in the middle that I didn't really care for, I'm going to give Aliens an 8.5 out of 10. It's still a very great movie. I'm not saying it's anything bad. I know people might think that's kind of weird, because I know a lot of people like to say that this is just as good as the original. To me, it's not. But it still is very great. That last 50 minutes, if that was like that for the whole movie, this movie would totally get a 10 out of 10. But it's not. And some parts with like Newt kind of annoys me. But the beginning with her and Ripley were very, very good. It's just some parts later on I just felt she was getting kind of on my nerves and annoying. But other than that, I did really, really think, and I need to stop saying really, but Aliens was great, and I definitely do recommend checking it out, especially right before tomorrow's Alien Covenant. Holy crap, and I still got to do Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. You might get Alien Resurrection after, maybe get it on a Friday or a Saturday, because, hey, that could be like, hey, it's still Resurrection. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of left this to late. Same thing with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. That's going to be all week long next week for Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah, guys, what did you guys think about Aliens? Did you actually think it was better than the first one? Did you maybe think it was worse than I thought? What do you think? I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.